Hello, everyone. We are the SEAL team. Our mission tagline is execute with purpose, lead with trust, and adapt under pressure. My name is Azucena Gastelum, and my team members are Garrett Thrasher and Brant Mariscal. Together, we will be presenting the Deferred Dynasty leadership, strategy, and culture behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. Our story begins with a franchise that refused to play the game like everyone else. The Los Angeles Dodgers used deferred agreements to land elite players and completely change baseball as we know it. First, let's establish what a deferred agreement actually is. In simple terms, a player agrees to receive a large amount of their salary later, sometimes even years from now, while still being guaranteed the full amount. This approach allowed the organization to sign amazing players without blowing up their short term payroll while still staying under the luxury tax thresholds. Because the CBT, the competitive balance tax, also known as the mentioned luxury tax, is based on present value, deferrals lower the annual number. A great example and huge game changer is Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's $700 million contract is structured so he earns just $2 million per year for 10 years, with $680 million being deferred. This reduced his luxury tax to around $46 million, which is incredibly high. However, nowhere near as close to what a normal $700 million contract would have cost. The result is that the Dodgers still had room to sign additional players within the same offseason, such as Yamamoto, Glasnow, and my personal favorite, Teoscar Hernandez. Without deferred agreements, this would have never been possible. This being said, to understand how this approach contributed to the Dodgers' success, we will be discussing Tuckman's team development framework. The first stage is the forming stage. This is when the team comes together and begins to establish goals and objectives. Leaders within the organization, such as Stan Kasten, the president and CEO, as well as Mark Walter, the chairman and controlling owner of the LA Dodgers, and Andrew Friedman, president of baseball operations, all whom will be discussed throughout our presentation by my team members, started exploring new ways to attract elite talent, and deferred contracts are initially being presented and discussed in this stage. The storming stage is the second stage in which the public, professionals, and critics across the league question the organization's motives, such as if it's fair, ethical. There are concerns about future financial commitments and potential risk of taking on this innovative approach. The third stage is the norming phase, where elite players now agree to these packages with long-term deferred payments, and by this point everyone from ownership, players, operations, public understands the system and fully embraces it. And finally, we enter the performing stage, in which the Dodgers finally have a high functioning system, especially with elite talent such as Ohtani, Glasnow, and Teoscar Hernandez, among many more. When conducting our team analysis, my team members and I found it very interesting when we realized that the Dodgers' strategic use of deferred agreements reflects an organization that has systematically overcome Patrick Lencioni's 5 core dysfunctions of a team. To further support this argument, they operate with high trust, which is the foundation of Lencioni's model. A strong financial strategy, such as the one they are implementing, requires deep trust and confidence across all levels of the organization, starting with leadership, independent departments, and specifically players, especially when negotiating with players. Everyone is on the same page when it comes to reaching long-term goals rather than focusing on short-term personal gains, which brings us to establishing healthy conflict or addressing healthy conflict. Instead of diminishing opposing viewpoints or perspectives, the organization openly allows their members to speak up in order to reach an agreement, leading us to strong commitment. Leadership does a very good job of, once a strategy is set in place, to make sure that everyone's vision is aligned with that of the organization's, leading them to create a successful team. This brings us to accountability. The Dodgers hold every unit accountable for delivering results, starting with analytics, whom identify players even worth investing in, negotiators to structure deals, administration to develop talent that justifies the long-term commitment and risk that comes with this financial strategy. And finally, the Dodgers demonstrate the rare ability to overcome Patrick Lencioni's fifth dysfunction, which is the inattention to results. The fact that they have won back-to-back World Series titles is confirmation enough that they are entirely results driven. There is absolutely no doubt that the Dodgers have reshaped baseball as a whole, but especially the economics portion that comes with this team within the MLB.
The leadership behaviors demonstrated by the Dodgers are deeply rooted in transformational leadership. It is seen both in the boardroom and on the field. In the boardroom, it is seen as a commitment to DEI that ensures alignment with the mission goals and the strategic vision of the organization. It is seen in the focus on collaboration between different departments to ensure the building of strong communication, and it is seen in their community involvement as a way to promote future athletes into future leaders. On the field, transformational leadership is seen in the trust between the players and the coaches. A great example of this came in Game 2 of the World Series, where Coach Roberts is quoted as saying, "Figure it out," not in a way that is giving up or in a malicious way, but in a way that demonstrated trust and transformational leadership on Roberts and the team. Many saw it as a turning point in the series and a testament to the Dodgers' dedication to transformational leadership.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brant Maiskad. I'll be covering ethics and culture and the rest of the slides. When we shift to ethics and culture, the Dodgers' deferred payment strategy takes center stage. Deferred deals only work in an environment built on trust. Players must believe the organization will honor payments years and even decades into the future. Accountability becomes essential. Leadership has a duty to plan financially so that the franchise never jeopardizes future obligations. The ethical climate is debated externally. Some argue deferrals stretch the spirit of the luxury tax, but internally it reinforces a culture of excellence. The message is, we're committed to winning and we're committed to you. Still, long-term liabilities bring long-term risks, which means the organization must remain disciplined and transparent. Here we see the key pressures that shape the ethics of the Dodger strategy. Trust and psychological safety are essential. Players need confidence that their future is secure. Accountability means properly funding deferred obligations and planning for revenue fluctuations. Ethical climate comes into question when critics see deferrals as giving the Dodgers an unfair advantage. But the organization's culture of excellence is built on pushing boundaries within the rules. And there are long-term risks if deferrals stack too high. Future teams may inherit financial strain. Understanding these dynamics is critical to assessing their long-term sustainability. Recommendations. Our recommendations focus on strengthening the ethical and operational foundation of the Dodger strategy. First, increase transparency. Public clarity can reduce criticism and strengthen trust with players. Second, create a deferred payment reserve fund. By setting aside money and investing conservatively, the organization ensures payouts are protected even during downturns. Third, engage in league-wide dialogue. Establishing MLB-level standards or best practices around deferrals protects competitive balance and help both teams and players. Together, these recommendations reinforce physical responsibility, ethical clarity, and organizational trust. Closing reflection. Our final reflection is simple. Financial decisions are team decisions. The Dodgers' deferred strategy is not just a front office move. It affects the clubhouse, the culture, and the long-term direction of the franchise. Their success proves that when leadership operates with vision, trust, and accountability, strategy becomes sustainable, not just effective. The Dodgers show that winning isn't an accident. It's the result of intentional leadership and culture built to last. Thank you for watching our presentation. SEAL Team remains committed to executing with purpose, leading with trust, and adapting under pressure, just like the Dodgers organization we studied.